assigned you the tutorial, but at the same time, let me point some things out for you. It's not difficult. If you know numbers 1 to 60, time will be pretty easy. There's just a couple other things you need to remember. Quelle heure est-il? Quelle heure est-il? Look at the clock right now, oui? Wherever you are. What time is it? Quelle heure est-il? Here's how you express it. Il est, what does it mean? It is, right? Il est 6 heures. Okay, you do this liaison because H is like a vowel. Il est 6 heures, oui? Il est, it is, right? Il est une heure, right? Une heure. What's the difference between this heure and this heure? S, because it's 6 heures. No S, because it's une heure. You see, that should make some sense, oui? So it's actually a pretty simple formula, oui? If you want to say the time, it's nice and easy. Il est 4. You say the hour, the word heure, and then the minute, oui? Il est 4h05. If you think back to 2nd grade, oui? This is when you learned clock time. Each one is 5 minutes. Small hand is the hour, right? So again, that's an easy formula. If you know 1 to 60, it's simple. You just say il est, then the hour number, right? 4, il est 4, then the word heure, and then the minute number. It's pretty simple formula. Oui? Il est 4h05. So you can get by this way. And then there's a couple other things you need to know. So for the first half hour of the clock, oui, you can do, just like in English, we can say a quarter after, half past, even though I don't really say half past. You probably don't either. You can do that, right? So the first half hour, you need to know 2 other vocab words, écart et demi. Oui? Écart et demi. And this is only for the first half hour. Oui? So what would, for example, 5:30 be? Try to think of it. Il est 5h30. Oui? What would 3:15 be? Il est 3h15. Oui? And then when you have the half hour, like the second half hour, you're going to subtract, right? So look at this. Just tell yourself what time this is in your language, Spanish, English, whatever it is. Il est 3h moins 10. Oui? So is it 3 o'clock yet? No, it's 10 to 3, we would say, right? So il est 3h moins 10. Second half of the hour, you have this important word, moins. Okay? You can also do le quart, or you could just do any number for the second half of the hour. 3h moins 10, 3h moins 5, 3h moins 10, 3h moins 15, or you can say moins le quart. 3h moins 20, 3h moins 25, oui? But that's where you would have to stop pretty much, oui? Moins le quart, voilà. So the tricky thing that happens here is you have to think about the next hour. 1:45, you can't start out by saying il est 1h. You would have to start out by saying 2h moins 15, right? You say moins le quart too as well, like as you know, with moins 15, oui? So you have to think about the next hour. Oui, voilà. Right, how do I say just, you know, what at a certain time? Oui, you just say ah, and make sure you get the accent the right way. Oui, par exemple. So what time do you work? À quelle heure est-ce que tu travailles? Je travaille à 9h du matin. Oui? So speaking of this, right? Here you have a couple notes, right? This H in English we do this colon, semicolon, right? And then otherwise you're gonna have an H in French. 3 heures, right? Again, think about your liaison because this word H, this letter H is like a vowel sound. Il est 2h. Il est 9h. But you don't do it here. You just say il est 11h. Il est 1h. Voila. Isn't that funny? There's a few pretty important ones. A few pretty important ones over here. My notes back. What are some important vocab? À quelle heure, oui. In the afternoon. So if you want to say something about, you know, oh, again, I put a note here about at a certain time. So how do I say at 9 o'clock? À 9h, oui. If you want to say something about a particular time in the day, like if I want to say like 9 in the morning, à 9 heures du matin, of the morning, right? There's no AM, PM, right? So du matin, de l'après-midi, du soir, they're going to be pretty important, like of the morning, yeah, of the afternoon, right? And then two other words are pretty important. How do you say noon? So how would I say at noon, right? Je mange à midi. You're going to say at again, like à midi, à minuit. You have other vocab here as well, right? One last thing I want to take note of is this 24-hour time. Have you ever heard of army time? We say that sometimes in English, right? So all you do is have to, this is like what you're going to see on official things in French culture, right? And a lot of cultures around the world. It's just 12 plus a number. So what's 12 plus 5? Like if I want to figure out 5 p.m., what's 12 plus 5? It's 17. So 5 p.m. would be 17 heures. So you're just going to do plus a number. Voilà. Okay? Voilà. Ok. Au revoir et à la prochaine.